Lignum was a tiny sapling with big dreams. He lived in a wide, sunny meadow and spent his days reaching for the golden sun. He wanted to grow so tall that he could touch the clouds and feel the wind dance through his very first leaves. One morning, as Lignum tried to stretch his trunk, he hit something cold and hard. A giant stone named Silex was sitting right in his way. Silex was heavy, gray, and very, very stubborn. "You cannot grow here," the stone seemed to say. Lignum tried to push Silex away. He wiggled his trunk and he wobbled his branches, but the stone didn't budge an inch. He felt small and weak. "If I can't move this stone, I'll never be a grand tree," Lignum sighed, feeling a little bit like giving up. But Lignum was a brave little tree. He realized that if he couldn't grow up through the stone, he would have to grow around it. He decided that instead of fighting the stone, he would use it to find his inner strength. Deep underground, where nobody could see, Lignum began to work. He sent his roots down into the dark, cool soil. He wrapped them tight around Silex, hugging the heavy stone as if it were a long-lost friend. The harder the stone pressed down, the deeper Lignum's roots had to go. Many seasons passed. Lignum grew thicker and taller. He wasn't the fastest growing tree in the meadow, but he was becoming the most solid. Silex wasn't an obstacle anymore. The stone was now nestled firmly at his base, held fast by a web of powerful roots. One afternoon, the sky turned a bruised purple. The great storm arrived with winds that howled like wolves and rain that lashed against the bark of every tree. The air was filled with flying leaves and the sound of snapping twigs. Nearby, a tall tree named Daphne began to tilt. Daphne had grown very fast because she never had any stones in her way, but her roots were shallow and thin. As the wind roared, Daphne's roots began to pull right out of the wet mud. But Lignum did not move. The wind pushed and pulled, trying to knock him over, but Silex's weight kept him anchored. Lignum's deep, strong roots gripped the earth and the stone so tightly that he was unshakable. He was safe because he had learned to grow through the hard times. When the sun finally came out, the meadow was quiet and fresh. Lignum was the strongest tree in the forest, standing tall and proud. He looked down at Silex and whispered a thank you. The heavy stone hadn't been a problem. It had been the secret to his strength. This story teaches us that when you feel stuck or pressured, remember the tree. Growth isn't always about getting taller. Sometimes it's about growing deeper. The hard times that feel like they are holding you back are actually giving you the roots you'll need to survive the storms everyone else is afraid of. And don't wish for a life without heavy stones. Those stones are the resistance that builds your muscle. If you can learn to stop complaining about the weight and start using it to anchor yourself, you become unshakable.